All right, back again here to finish up the bottom of this engine that we've got. And that would be to cover it up with the oil pan. And I've got the oil pan, cute little thing. And it needs number 5 screws. And I separated them and put them in this little bag here. If I can get it open. There. So we have the drain plug right here, and it's got the little high temperature O-ring on it. And I used the bag that had the spacer washers in there, which we don't need those, so I can probably pick those back up and get rid of them in here. If I can. They're so thin. There we go. I'll drag them out of the way here for a bit. There, 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 and there. Okay. All right, so we've got the screws, the plug. It does say to put the filler plug in, number 9, but I'm going to leave the filler plug out for right now, since we'll have to fill it with oil later anyway. So we can install the drain plug here on the side. And what wrench do I need? I think it's this one here. Yeah. And we'll just squish the O-ring a little bit. It doesn't have to be much. There's no groove there. Again, no O-ring groove. And you can see if we can focus on that. There's the little green. It's kind of squished out to a bigger diameter. All right, there. Okay. And so what does it say here? This is the other copper tube that has been cut on a bevel slope. It says the tip, you can read that, the tip goes into the cylinder. Oh, and they are showing the pointed part going down into that hole back here. Well, that's interesting. Let me take this thing off. I didn't do that with this one. I put the tip up, if you remember when we did that guy. What is the purpose of that tip? These things are holes that are drilled down, and then they must have cross holes that connect to them. And, if I put this in on the hole that's been drilled straight down with a little drill point and push it all the way down, it will plug this off, especially if the cross hole is up above. It wouldn't get as much flow. But if I put it in with the point against the bottom, oil can pass through the sides. Okay. Yeah. So that goes in and touches. So this oil one must be the same way. They didn't describe that very well. All they said over here when we did the oil, or the filter, was there's a blue mark up there. There's a blue mark up there. And of course they have the whole picture closed off. I can't see. And there's a blue, unless they intended this blue mark to be up at the top here, so they could say that blue mark is up. But they put it right in the center of this device, so there was no way to know. All right, I think my thought process is right. I'm going to put it down like that. All right, I think I'll leave this off. It'll give me a little more room to get this in there and get to the screw. So I'm just going to leave that off for right now. Okay, so the tube is in. That must be the pickup tube, right? When that goes on, yeah, that's probably the pickup tube. Or maybe it's the entrance tube. I don't know. But they did say to put the point goes into the, or the tip, it says the tip goes into the cylinder. And they do show it with the flat part up. All right. And then it says, install the oil drain. Okay, the drain plug is in. The surface is sealed with sealant. It says the surface is sealed with sealant. I think I'm going to use my gasket maker, the ultra black gasket maker. And I'm going to just put it all around here. Let me see. Oh yeah, it doesn't seal on this end right here. So this will have another gasket right here, so I don't have to worry about that. It's this upper one here, this guy. It's supposed to seal up against that oil seal that's in there. It doesn't fit real tight around it. I think I'll, just for the fun of it, put some of the stuff down inside of here too, just a little thin amount there. So I'm going to have to paint it on about all along like that, and I'll go down here. Let's see, I got this flat little plastic like a screwdriver. I think I can put some on it and just kind of paint it on like this. It's a little bit thick, but not real thick there. Let's see how that goes. Okay, I've recently pierced the tube, so let's just put a little bit out here, see what this is like. That's pretty thick. I may want to brush that around, yeah. Okay, gonna take a little bit here to get that painted on. Sorry, you can't see. Try to get that orange all covered up. There. I'll worry about if the screws, when I poke them back down the hole, they might go in, but I don't think that'll hurt on the threads. Okay, so here, I'm just gonna tab it on every so often and then run it across the whole thing. I imagine using a liquid gasket like this, it squirts out anyway, and there's a little bit there. Okay, one more little bit. I got a little bit out of that tube. I think where'd the cap go? There it is. All right, I think I'll put a little more there. Everything doesn't look too bad. I think now I'll try to put some in here. Let's see if I can swipe some off. Yeah, that's not bad. That left a nice little painted area there. Okay, let me get this off my hand. How does it look on the outside? Wipe some of that off there. It'll all squish out anyway, and I'll probably have to wipe it all again. There. Okay, let's see if I can't put it down nice and neat. There. Ooh, yeah, look at that squirt out right there. I'll have to wipe that off afterwards. So you can see it kind of, I pushed a little pressure right there and it's squirting out there, and the same on the back side. But I'll wipe that once I get the screws in. Okay, so let's see if we can get the screws put in. Are they this size? Nope. Are they this size? Nope. There's the last one. Yes, they're that size. I'll torque these down just a teeny bit once I get them in. They're all on the surface, so I don't think I need to worry about, Loctiting them in. I can always see if there's a problem or it starts leaking there. Right now I'm just barely snugging them down. I mean, not even that. They just go up until I touch the metal. That's all I'm doing. There. All right. Gonna take a little bit of time getting around all of these. I think I'll turn it a little on the side where you can kind of see better. There. Sure got a lot of screws, but I guess you need that if you don't want it to leak. There. These. There. There. All right, let's flip it around, put those in. There, I can see a little more squirting out as I tighten them up. There. I'm not even sure I will use the torque wrench on these. I think I can hand tighten them, be fine. I don't think in general you use a torque wrench on oil pan screws. Okay, so let's start with this top one, and we'll start a little snugger, a little like a snugger there, and then I'm going to come over here to the second one down, and we'll do that one, and then I'll alternate over here, there, and I'll alternate over here, and then I'll alternate over here, over here, over here, and the end. Now we'll go back. This one. This one. Did I do that one already? Must be this one I didn't do. Yeah. This one. This one. This one. This one. The top one. Back to the top. Okay. That one. Okay, so now we'll go a little tighter. This one didn't get it in. A little tighter. Now let me just see. If I kick this down to 1, instead of that one, we'll go back to memory 1, which is only 1. Let's see what, oh, I can't even get it in there. Forget it. We're just gonna hand do it. There. Come on. There. There. And so forth down the line. All right, there it is. Get a little bit of that black stuff all over my orange. Okay, now I wonder if I should just leave that there. It's not bad, but it might get in the way of something else here. Let me take that plastic thing and see if I can't pull some of it off there, at least around there. This guy looks quite a bit. Yeah. I think I'll take it off. It's not helping to be outside like that. Ugh. Let me get a new paper towel. Yeah. Bit at a time, wiping it off. There. Let's see what corner haven't I used. This one. I'll take that off. Now I got a little bit of a issue right where the oil filter is gonna go down, so it's might smear that. I'm gonna see if I can't scoop that out. You know, I think I'll take this oil one out, this one tube. There. Give me some more room in there. I wonder if I can get in there with something to wipe it. That's not bad. Okay. All right. Pretty good. We'll go on to the next thing. All right, I'm back for the next step. And off camera, I decided since I put on the oil pan, it made a little tough sitting straight. And I had this engine mounting plate I purchased. And I only just put in a couple of the screws for right now. But it helps it to sit nice. I can then sit it down easily. So the next thing we have to do is the camshaft. And it says here the previous steps can be ignored if the bearing had already been installed. Well, that was way at the beginning when I put the bearing into a little this little spot that's behind now the flywheel, which you can hardly see. There's that little plate right here. And then that was where I had to silicone the plate in. So I already have this bearing installed. So I got the same number 52 bearing out and put it here. And then I could see, oh, here's another pin holding that I have to put in holding this gear. And so off camera, I started playing with this, trying to figure out how to put that teeny little, it's actually not a key like the others, it's a roll pin. And I can show you what it looks like, because there's two of them. And here is the other one. As you can maybe if this will focus, get underneath, you can see it is rolled around and only about, you know, heck, not even a little over 1/8 of an inch long. Okay, so that had to be put, oh, I dropped it into the wrong spot. There we go. That had to be put, which I've already done, straight down into here. You can kind of see it. There was a half round into the gear and a half round into the shaft. So that turned out to be quite the ordeal, mainly because everything is so small. That little roll pin was so small. Even holding it with the tweezers I couldn't hold it worth a darn and try to get it even started. First of all, the roll pin was quite large, and they're meant to be large, and then the pin squeezes down as you get it into the hole. But I couldn't even get it started. It just wouldn't. So I literally took a pair of pliers and I squeezed it, so I already closed the diameter down, so it was already down, but that still was a little bit. It was enough still friction to hold it in there. I mean, it wasn't completely compressed. But then I couldn't even get it started, so I took a file, and if you can look at this old one here, this other one. There's no chamfer or no bevel around it. I think it was one longer roll, and they cut it in half. So one side is really squared off, no bevel at all. Okay, like you can't see it as well as I am, but this side sticking out has no bevel. If I roll it around, this side has a teeny little bevel, teeny. I mean, I don't even think I can get you to focus on that. I don't think I can get the camera to focus. Let's see. Yeah, it just refuses to get that little thing. Well, anyway, there was no chamfer on one side, and one side had a teeny one. I wanted to make that a little bigger, so I took a file and I started just working down the chamfer a little bit, turning it, till I could get it a little better off to going into that hole. You can see I can hardly hold it. Anyway, so now that I've filed it, you can kind of see a chamfer forming right around that edge. Okay, so once I had the chamfer and I could hold the gear in line with the slots, so the slots were lined up, I still couldn't hold it there. And so what I had to do is I had a teeny set of needle nose pliers that I could get a hold of it decently with. And I held the thing there. And then I'm going to turn it sideways here. This screw I removed because as I put the thing up there, I was hitting on that screw and I couldn't get the point down there where I wanted. So it was easy. I just removed one of those screws, the bottom screw there. I just took that one out. Then once I'm holding it here, and I had this in my hand and holding it right down where it needed to be, I thought, okay, I gotta find something I can tap it down with. And the one thing I found in my little toolbox was this Torx driver head. Kind of plugs into a handle. It says it's I think it's a 10. I don't know if you can even see that. God, the light just makes it worse for you. Yeah, I think it says a 10 Torx, but I got it because it's got a flat little bottom, and it was about a little bigger than the thing. And while holding the pliers here, just like this, I had it kind of in the hole started, And then the first thing I did was, once I held it there like that, and I'm kind of pushing down on the shaft like that, I just went tap, 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 and it got it started. And I thought, okay, there it is. So then I could hold this right on top of it, pushing down, and use my fingers to grab onto everything and keep holding it there. And then I just had a little hammer here, and I just went, doot, doot, you know, it literally, the first tap, put it down past a quarter of the way. The second one was about 3/4 down, and then I looked, and then the last tap, just teeny little taps, and I finally got that roll pin in there, and the gear is tight. It doesn't move at all. It doesn't move on the shaft. So that was how I had to do this step. So now what's left here is to put, and this is kind of funny, this is the first one that I hit the alphabet on, D. And it says, umbrella gears need to be close to the large teeth. Umbrella gears? Come on, guys, this is called a miter gear. I don't know who writes this stuff, but that's a miter gear. And so it needs to be, umbrella gears need to be close to the large teeth. Close to the large teeth. Okay, I guess that means pushed on all the way. All right, so there's a flat. There's a little flat right there. And I got a set screw. So if I put that set screw right on top of the flat, it should line itself up when I tighten it. And it does. I can feel it turn just a little bit. There. All right, so that should be ready to go. So I'll flip the page. And there was, of course, a typo error in here. It used to say crankshaft. So it says the camshaft is placed in the bore. Okay, so I just hand wrote it there. So we have to push it down into the bore. Okay, so let's see if we can do that. So I already got the bearing on this back side here, and now I've added this bearing here. Oh, and by the way, it turns very easily. It just turns really nice. So I didn't pinch it off or anything. So let's see if we can put it in there. Get past that guy, past there, past there. Oh, look at that, it went right in fine. Okay, so I'm gonna turn it up right here because this picture now shows, oh, which by the way, I've already turned the flat on this shaft. I don't know if you can see it, but the flat is facing up just like it shows in the drawing here. And that, just so you know, when this is the flat right here, I put the crescent wrench on it just so I could tighten it down. And when you look straight at it, you can see that I am pretty well flat across the top of that thing. Okay, so when you have the crankshaft in its flat position, number one piston is up at what they call the top dead center, meaning it can't go any higher. The little crank rod, which we can't see now, is here, and it's just about ready to either pass over the high spot and start heading down. So that's top dead center right there. And by turning this thing that we just got to the right position, which is its little flat has to go up as well. So it says the crankshaft and cam plane are vertically upward. Vertically upward, right. So the flat is to the up and the flat is up. So if I can see that down there, you can kind of see the flat. It's got to turn till it's upright like that. Now that should have made the camshaft perfectly into where, with this piston being up and that's in there, that means this now is going to be the compression stroke as it comes up. That is the top dead center of the compression stroke. So by the time we add our pins down into there, and the lifters and everything, they would not be lifting either the exhaust port or the intake port. The ports all would be sealed, and the piston coming up, that means it's the compression stroke. So I have to keep that lined up, which also helps is the screws. So those screws need to be, I think it's exactly in the straight. It looks like it's a tad bit off, but if you notice, they gave like a little adjustments in here. By the time if you have to change that gear a little bit, I can loosen all 4 of those and it can slide. It can slide a little bit. So that's a neat idea. All right, so at least for now, we get rid of some of my stuff out of the way. Okay, we are vertical. Okay, oh, and it even mentioned about the slots right there. When assembling gears, it may not be possible to ensure that the crankshaft gear and camshaft gear are vertically upward at the same time. The position of the 4 screws on the gear can be adjusted by fine-tuning. After adjustment, the screws must be retightened to avoid loosening during the operation. It is recommended to use low-strength screw glue or blue Loctite on those screws. Okay, so that means I'm going to have to take them out anyway to do that. So here's the other gear. That's that other gear that was mislabeled. Now it says it's 74 here. And 74 was the second gear over, which was not where the gear was, right? So, yeah, because that gear was in 73 spot. Okay, so now I can go get that little gear. Hang on. I did put it back into that spot right here. So there's the little gear. Okay, toss that back. All right. There. Little gear. And then I'm going to need number 14. That's the big numbered box. I need a 14 washer. Let's see. 14 is in here. There it is. It's at the bottom. Well, sometimes you really can't see them all in here, but there's the little guys right there. Okay. Then I need number 13. Oh, that's in the same box. That must be this guy right here. Yeah, he's a little standoff tube. And then it says I need number 12. Wow, that's in there too. And that must be this guy with the Loctite on it. Yeah, there. Because the rest of the last 3 are little Allen heads. Okay. Okay, so that has given me everything I need. Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. They left here in this picture. In this picture, they show the bevel gear on, but over here in this picture, they don't have the bevel gear on. Oh well, I don't want to forget it because at some point we're gonna close it all up, and I think you're gonna need the bevel gear for something in here to come out. I think. Anyway, okay. So according to the drawing, we have to put the spacer on here first. That's a good fit. The gear has to go on there, and the washer has to go on. Come on up there. There we are. Come on. There. All right, let's find out what Allen fits that. I think it might be my small one here. Nope, it's the next size up. This guy. Nope, that's the too big. This is the next one up. No, that one's really big. Where is it? Do I not have that one? Oh, it was it. That was it. Okay. And where does it go? Oh, how nice. This particular one has a dotted line. I could have put that on the other one when I wanted the dotted line. But there's the dotted line, and it shows it going into that hole right there. And let's see if we can figure that one. It must be just this hole right here. Okay, so when assembling screws, apply a small amount of screw glue. Well, they already had something here. There's screw glue on it. Well, I guess I could add a little bit more on the other side if they really are mentioning it. But, oh, I know why they did that. I don't need that into the, it's got a roll. I don't want that getting on anything. So, let's see here. Is this going to line up when I put this on here? Oh, it did. It lined right up. Nice. There. Oh boy, look at that. The gear went right in and meshed perfectly. And I'm still darn close to being vertical, probably good enough. Because that camshaft, I don't think turned at all. It may have turned a teeny bit, but I don't think it was much. Okay, that's probably good for this video. I'm gonna read up a little bit about all of this other stuff, and then I will be back.